Hello, superstars. It's Miss Shelton. I know I look a little different. Don't have my beautiful hair and curls or whatever, but I'm home just like you guys, doing home stuff and looking like I'm at home. So, how are you guys doing? I have missed you so much. I promise you, I have missed you guys a whole lot. And so, as I promised when we had our bingo night, I was gonna come and read our Curious George story from this week, and I was going to also make pancakes. So we'll see how this goes, and what I have for you guys today to make the pancakes is going to be super easy, so you can do this at home. And so I think your parents could trust you to help them with doing this, or they help you with doing it. But again, I'm excited. You guys have been rock stars this week, getting your work in. I applaud your parents. Give them a round of applause for making sure you get it done. And let's do this. So this week's story was Curious George Makes Pancakes. And this is a really cool story. Now, as we already know, Curious George is always into some type of mischief. He's always doing something, always going places he shouldn't go, doing things he shouldn't do. But he really doesn't mean any harm. He's really just trying to, who remembers, help. He just wants to help. And so can't be mad at him, but he gets in a lot of trouble, and he really makes it hard for the man with the yellow hat to keep him safe. So I know you guys have had fun being home, maybe even a little bored. And so you're probably doing crazy stuff at home. But main thing, I need you guys to be safe. You can be curious, but be safe. And so we're going to jump into the story because I'm going to animate this story a little bit. And you know, Miss Shelton, it's really hard for me to just read a book and not talk during the book. And so if you guys will bear with me, this will be so much fun because in my mind, I came up with some really cool ideas for us to get through the book. And then we'll do pancakes as well. So buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride, but I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it today. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. So we remember that this book, Curious George, I'm trying to think if my friends can remember our song when we talk about what genre this book is. Is it fiction or is it nonfiction? Now, those of you who remember with me, come on, let's sing along with me, and then we'll determine if this book is fiction or nonfiction. So, nonfiction means it's real. Nonfiction means it's real. Nonfiction means it's real. All right, let's think. Monkey making pancakes. Now, let's sing our other song. It is not real. 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 It's make-believe. It's make-believe. It's make-believe. It's make-believe. It's make-believe. Let's sing. Non-fiction means it's real. It is not real. What do you think about a monkey making pancakes? If you said fiction, you are the smartest person in your entire body right now. This is a fiction story. And so when you have some time, when your parents go over the book with you, I want you to think of all the reasons as you flip through the pages why this book is a fiction book. We first of all know that monkeys don't make pancakes. Can you imagine this guy making pancakes? Can you? I couldn't at all. So, even if it's a real monkey making pancakes, I don't think so. All right, let's jump into the story. So the title of our story is Curious George Makes Pancakes. So let's find out what's going on in here. Oh yeah, I forgot. For my friends who are not quite sure with some of the words that we're going to encounter in this book, let's talk about a few of the words and then we'll jump in. First word is fundraiser. Now, we've talked about compound words before. And a fundraiser has two words, fund and raiser. So in the word fundraiser, those two words, fund talks about money. Funds, when you're funding something, we're talking about getting some money. And raiser is how they actually go about doing it, the process that they do. Like Girl Scout cookies, selling Girl Scout cookies is a fundraiser. They sell the cookies, they get the money, and then they're able to do a lot of things to help the Girl Scout troop and to help the community. So they raise funds. This is a fundraiser. And so we'll read about a fundraiser in our story. All right. A mayor. Now, a mayor is a very important person in your city. He's kind of like I would say, like the president of your city, and he helps to keep people safe. He helps with assisting in making laws and proclamations and whatever goes on in your particular city. He's like the boss of the city, and along with other people and your community, mostly your parents and grandparents or whoever lives in your community, to help to make your community safe, to make sure people have the things that they need. So he's like a big deal in your community. In the story, the mayor is going to be at the fundraiser, and we'll see what he does or what his role is in the story. Then we have the word volunteers. We'll hear about volunteers, and volunteers are just really cool people who like to help. So you can even be a volunteer, just really cool people who like to help other people. We have volunteers at our school that come in and read stories to us. We have parent volunteers. Some of my parents come in and they help us with different things at the school. They help with the holiday shop. They help with the book fair, and they don't get paid for it. They do it out of the kindness of their hearts. So those are volunteers. Then we have griddle. A griddle is it's kind of cooking tool. It's an apparatus that's going to be used. It's a tool that that's going to be used in the story, and it's also, I just happen to have one in my house. Also, what we're going to use to make our pancakes on. And right now, I have my griddle covered because I have these things on it. But when we get ready to make the pancakes, I guess I could flip it up and let you see what it looks like. All right, give me a second. So a griddle kind of looks like this. And this part of the plate gets hot. And this is where I'm going to put the batter for the pancakes today. And then this part here is a little dial. And this tells me if I turn that button, it'll tell me how hot. It actually determines the temperature. So as I turn the button, I can turn it real low, or I can turn it real high, or I can turn it on medium if I want, according to how much heat I need to make our pancakes today. But we are going to use that a little later. So that is what a griddle is. And we have a griddle in our story as well. So I'm going to cover it back up. And the last word I want to show you guys, the word is batter. Batter is like a mixture of different things. It could be flour and water, or eggs and flour, whatever you're trying to cover. If you're like your mom or dad is frying chicken, they may stick it in a batter and it makes it really crispy and crunchy. But today we're going to have pancake batter. And in our pancake batter, we're going to have pancake mix and our secret ingredient. I'll tell you what the secret ingredients are a little later. But the batter is like what you see them pour onto the griddle, the mixture that they use to actually make the pancakes. So, enough said. Let's read the story. And I think my chair is high enough. All right. Curious George Makes Pancakes. All right. Let's see. I'll leave my chair. I'm going to bring you closer to me so I can sit. There we go. All right. This is George. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. One morning, the man with the yellow hat woke George early. "Time to get up, George," he said. "The pancake breakfast is today." That's pretty exciting. Now, here, remember we talk about our characters and our setting. So far, we've seen two characters. We've seen the man with the yellow hat and, of course, our main character, George. Now, here is the setting. The setting is where the story, absolutely, where the story takes place or where the story happens. So here we see it's probably, I would say, in a city, looking at the tall buildings. But then this looks like a park area. And I'm going to open it all the way up so we can see both of the pages. Give you an idea for those of you who haven't had a chance to read the story yet. And so, really big park area. We have tents here. People are sitting at benches, and this says pancake breakfast. This little thing here is called a gazebo. And usually people sit in there or stand in there and watch what's going on wherever they are. Some people may even have one in their backyard. All right, and here is our main stage. If you look closer, that's the stage. You can see someone standing up, and I would probably think it might even be the mayor, maybe. We'll find out in the story, but they're standing on the stage, and there are people standing in front. And if you look way over there, what is that guy doing? He's a chef. Something's flying in the air, and those are probably pancakes. We have people standing in line waiting to get some. All right. Now, George loved the pancake breakfast. It was a fundraiser held every year to make money for special programs at the Children's Hospital. Besides eating pancakes, there were all kinds of games to play. Even the mayor came to play and eat. But first, he gave a welcome speech. Remember I told you that was probably the mayor standing on that podium? Very good. Thank you all for coming, the mayor said. We appreciate your generous support. He thanked all the volunteers who were helping that day. And finally, he said, please enjoy yourselves and the pancakes. Whoa, don't those look delicious? Anybody have any idea what this is? Butter. How many of you like butter on your pancakes? I like a little bit, not a whole lot. What about here? That's a stack of pancakes. Stack of pancakes with, what do you think is on top? Syrup. Happen to have some here. So that's the syrup, and syrup is really, really sweet, and people really like pancakes on their syrup. Now I have a nephew who doesn't like pancakes on his syrup. Syrup on his pancakes. He eats them just like that, which is pretty unique, I think. All right. When the mayor finished, the man with the yellow hat said, George, I'm going to buy our tickets. Please wait here and don't be too curious. Remember we talked about curious. Yeah, his name is Curious George. And usually when the man with the yellow hat tells him to wait, does he wait? That has not been his track record. That's not been what he usually does. Let's see if he's going to wait this time. George waited like a good little monkey. But, something smelled good. Could it be pancakes? George was curious. And as you can tell, when George gets curious, look at those feet. Are those waiting feet? Or are those, I'm about to get into something feet? If you said I'm about to get into something feet, or if you said waiting feet, you're making a prediction. Let's find out. Whoa, is he still where the man told him to be? Not at all. He followed the delicious smell and found a whole griddle full of pancakes. George watched as the man poured little batter circles and flipped them up in the air. So he's pouring the batter on the griddle, and then some of them he's flipping in the air. Why do you think he would be flipping them in the air? Think about it. Mrs. Shelton is not good at flipping them in the air. Now, I may try one when we do our pancakes, but don't laugh if they don't come out just right. It looked like fun to make pancakes. George wanted to help. On the table next to the griddle was a basket full of blueberries. See the basket of blueberries right there? Now that's the batter. And here we have syrup. On the table near the griddle was a basket full of blueberries. These pancakes need blueberries, George thought. And he sprinkled some on top. Isn't that cool? They're probably going to be really, really good and have a blueberry flavor. Mrs. Shelton likes blueberry flavored pancakes, but believe it or not, I don't like cooked fruit. So even if I have blueberry pancakes, I pick the blueberries out because I don't like cooked fruit. He followed the delicious smell and found a whole griddle full of pancakes. Hey, Miss Shelton just read the same page over again. Help me. Wow. Was George the only one who wanted pancakes? Not at all. Anybody remember what I said what this was? The gazebo. People are lining up by the gazebo in order to get pancakes. Meanwhile, the man at the griddle was too busy. He didn't notice the little monkey helping him. But the line grew and grew. So I'll show you the entire page. That was a lot of people. Now, if you look at the man with the pancakes, does he look like he has everything under control? He has his hands up. His body is a little different. He has the griddle in the air. It looks like he may be a little distressed right now. Not quite sure what's going on with him, but we're going to read and find out. George's pancakes were a hit. George's pancakes were a hit. Soon everyone wanted them, and the man could not keep up. Please wait, he said to someone holding an empty plate. I need to find an assistant to help me. And just like that, he was gone. He needed an assistant. He was saying, guys, I need some help with this. This is a very long line, and I am one person. Remember, Miss Shelton, sometimes when a lot of my friends in the classroom need help at the same time, and I'm like, how many teachers do you have? Just one. So there was only one guy trying to help all of these people, and he needed an assistant. He needed some help. Now, George was down here doing what? He was helping. He actually was helping, and he was doing a really good job. But then the man with the man with the chef hat, the chef, he was a little overwhelmed. And overwhelmed means you need a lot of help. You have a lot of things going on, or it's more than you can handle at one time. So right then, that was more than he could handle right then. So he said, I need to go and get an assistant. So he left. What do you think's gonna happen when this guy leaves the table, but leaves this little monkey here? I want you to think about that. George looked at the people waiting in the line, then and at the empty griddle. Why, he could make pancakes. He could be the assistant. Give me a thumbs up if you think that's a good idea. Or if you think maybe not such a good idea. George has been doing pretty good so well. Let's find out. George poured the batter into nice round circles. Next, he added the blueberries. Good job, George. He waited just a minute to let the pancakes cook. Then he flipped them over. And last, he added syrup. So first, he poured the batter into the circles, which is the same step Mrs. Shelton is going to use. Next, he added blueberries. Then he flipped them over. And last, he added syrup. So sometime today, after we close the book, finish the video. I want you to go and tell your parents the steps in making pancakes and see if you can convince them to let you do it. All right. Wowzers. Not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Because technically, this monkey only has 2 hands. And you definitely don't want him making your pancakes with his feet. That would be gross. And we see lots and lots and lots and lots of hands. The illustrator did a really good job to kind of show us how fast he had to move. He was moving so fast, it was like he had more hands than he really had. More spatulas than he really had. And definitely there are pancakes everywhere. Let's find out what's going on here. The line for the pancakes was enormous. That means it was really, really long. But with 4 hands, George made quite a chef. And no one's plate was empty for long. So, although this picture looks like he's out of control, he pretty much has it under control. Let's find out what happens next. I've been coming to this breakfast for years, a man said. But I've never seen pancakes made like this before. Good job, George. I've never eaten this many pancakes before, said a girl. I don't even like pancakes. I'm sorry, I didn't even like pancakes, said another girl. And they all lined up for more. Oh, look at the cool sign. Yummy pancakes, $1. So there's a lady taking the money. And remember, this was a fundraiser. So they were paying for the pancakes. And they were raising lots of money thanks to George. Because people who weren't even eating pancakes before are now eating pancakes. All right. Look who's back. Dun, dun, dun. And what do you think is happening here? Think about what you think happened. I'm looking here. There's a chair that's turned over, blueberries, spatula on the ground, and he's, look at his body, running away. Oh my goodness, he was doing such a good job. What could have happened? Let's find out. When the man returned with his new assistant, he was shocked to see a monkey making pancakes. This is no place for a monkey, he yelled, and he began to chase George. Wow, if you look at George's face, George is terrified. George is like, I was really helping. I wasn't making a mess for the first time ever, and it was all good. But then the chef and his assistant showed up, and they began to chase him. How do you think George is feeling? He's afraid right now, really, really scared, and he's running. He drops everything and just takes off. Do you blame George? Not at all. I would be afraid too. George had meant to cause trouble. He only wanted to help. Now he only wanted to get away. Quickly, George found a place to hide, and the man and his assistant ran right by. But where did George go? Anybody? Look, I'm going to put it up really, really close. Where did George go? Is he in a tree? Is he by this thingy? Anybody knows what this is? This is called a dunk tank. And it's filled with water. Do you see him in there? Because it's clear. So if he was in there, we'd see him. If you see it, point, and bam, there he is. Hiding with the stuffed animal prizes. He's a smart monkey. He's curious, but he's smart as well. Did anybody catch it before I did? That's because you're the smartest person in your entire body. When it was safe to come out, George jumped down. He was covered in syrup like a pancake. And he was sticking to everything. George was curious. These napkins help him to get clean. I'm sorry. I'll reread that. George was curious. Could these napkins help him to get clean? Now, he's covered in syrup. And what do we know about syrup? Syrup is very, very sticky. So if you took a dry napkin and had syrup on your hand and you tried to dry it off, what do you think would happen? Think it would stick to your hand or think it'd be good for cleaning it off? Let's find out. Now, let's find out, because Mrs. Shelton is like this. I want you to do an experiment. How many of you want to see what happens? I hear you out there in cyber world. You're just as kooky as I am. All right, let's try it out. Let's see. So, here I have syrup. Please don't do this at home. Your parents would be totally freaked out if you wasted their food. So I'll do it for you. So I'm going to take some syrup, move my book because I don't want to get syrup on my book. I'm going to take my book, put a little syrup on my fingers, rub it in my hand, and then I'm going to take a napkin and I'm going to try to dry it off. Whoa, ew. My fingers are sticking to the napkin. Ugh. All right, let me get a little more, because they said he was covered, so maybe I have to use a little more. Now I'm going to try to dry it off. Uh-oh. Well, let's see. Let's try this hand. Let's see if I can clean this. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. So it's not really cleaning my hand. It's just sticking to my hand. That's gross. Ew, because Miss Shelton hates to have sticky stuff on her hand. So I'm going to wash my hands really, really quick because this kind of creeps me out. All right. I'm back. Didn't do the whole ABC. But guys, when you're washing your hands, make sure you're singing the ABC song or the birthday song. And I really need to clean them off so that I can hold my book again. All right. Think I'm good there. All right. Let's find out what happened to George. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. Sticky, sticky, sticky everywhere. Sticky, sticky, sticky everywhere. His hands are stuck. So he's trying to clean himself off and he ends up with napkins all over himself. Anybody have any idea what he could do to get these napkins off? Oh, this should be so disappointing. He's trying to clean up. And then I'm thinking he's walking around in a park. He probably now has grass on his hands and dirt and all of that with the syrup. Oh my goodness, what a mess. We thought he'd get away mess-free. I guess not. No, the napkins only made it worse. What George needed was some water to wash with. Why? Here was the perfect thing. George climbed up into the dunk tank. Now, if you are not familiar with the dunk tank, sometimes at fairs or different carnival events, there's this big tank that's filled with water. So if you have he saw the big tank filled with water and he said like, hey, I need water, there's water. Let me try this out. And so, of course, in rare fashion, I don't have a dunk tank at my house. I have a pool, but I don't have a dunk tank. So I decided to try this out and see how it works. So Miss Shelton has a bowl, and I have a bowl, and it's clear. And let me see if I can get where you guys can see my clear bowl. You might not be able to see my face, but you can see my clear bowl. And I'm going to fill my clear bowl with water like a dunk tank. Just to give you an idea of what George was thinking, because he's like, I have water. I don't see a water fountain. I don't see anything. I'm definitely stuck with all this stuff all over my hands. And let's see if it works. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to use less napkins. Let's see if I can get it. And we're going to see if that would probably be, if that was a good idea for George to choose to do that. So I'm going to put some more syrup on my hands. All right, rub it in. So we're going to pretend that I'm George and I have all of this syrup all over me, but I'm just going to put it on my hands because Miss Shelton is not going to put syrup all over herself. So I'm going to grab my napkins, and try to clean. Uh-oh, look what happens. I have my, oh my goodness. I'm trying to clean with, no, it's again. Well, that one came off. But look at these. I still have napkins stuck to my hand. So George's idea was, what if I jump into this dunk tank? Let's see. I'm going to have it now so you won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to see. So I'm going to do it here, and then we'll see if it works out the same way in the story for George. So they're all stuck to my hand. Syrup is so sticky. Maybe I'll clean this hand. Uh-oh. Well, that one fell off. All right, are you ready? I'm gonna dunk into the water. I'm gonna move around, probably like George is moving around. Move around, move around, move around. Whoa, this feels so good. And my hands are feeling so much cleaner. And voila! Clean hands, no napkins. Yay! Don't try this at home either. I did it for you. I did it for you. All right. So I'm going to dry my hands off because they're actually the syrup is off. I didn't use soap and water for the sake of time for right now, but I will before we get ready to make our pancakes. Of course, you always wash your hands before you cook. I'm going to move this out of the way. All right, let's see what our story says. All right, here we go. And George climbed in. So just like I put my hands in the water, George actually put his whole body in the water. This would do the trick for a sticky monkey. George sat on the bench and splashed himself with water. But all of a sudden, what do you think happened? He's sitting on a bench in front of the water, and he's splashing himself, and I'm sure he is having a wonderful time. It's kind of like being in a pool for him. So I'm sure he's really enjoying this. Let's find out. Splash! George was in the water. What a surprise! George climbed up again and splashed back down. He'd never been in a dunk tank before, and he'd never had so much fun getting clean. Look at him. Now, one of the things I forgot to tell you about a dunk tank, if you're in a dunk tank, this little bench, if you sit on the bench and someone throws a ball at this little bullseye, if they hit it, the bench tips over and you fall into the water, or whoever's on the bench falls into the water. And so people will spend money, they'll buy tickets and pay to throw the ball a certain amount of times to get the person to fall down in the water. So it says here, stand behind line. So the people stand behind this line and then they throw. And obviously, what happened? Somebody hit the bullseye and down goes George. Does he look really upset about it? Yeah, I think he's a little more frightened, but you know George, he can make fun out of anything. It says, soon everyone was having fun, and the line at the dunk tank grew even longer than the line for pancakes. Later, the mayor came by. I've heard all about your delicious pancakes, he said. You've made our fundraiser a big success. And I have a special favor to ask you. What do you think the mayor would ask a monkey? Now I want you to think back to how George really did help at the pancake breakfast. What did he do to help? Share that information with your parents. How did he really help? Because he made a mess of a few things, but he actually only made a mess of himself. So he really did offer some help to the pancake workers. Remember, it was a fundraiser. They were trying to raise funds, raise money. At the end of the day, George got to present the money from the fundraiser to the president of the hospital. Thanks to you, George, this has been the best year ever, she said. Will you come back and make pancakes again next year? Look at that. He helped them to make lots and lots of money. And the president of the hospital was really, really happy because this was the children's hospital. This was a hospital where they mainly take care of children who are maybe sick or have some kind of illness. And so this is the place where children would go when they have special sicknesses and special illnesses. So it helps them to be able to take care of the children better, buy the things they need to help them to get healthier. And it ends with George nodded and everyone cheered. Hooray! George did a really, really good job today. So we know he's curious. We know he's always trying to help. But I'm pretty proud of George today. Are you guys proud of George? Super proud of George. All right, guys. Again, that was Curious George Makes Pancakes. And this story is in our Houghton Mifflin Journey series. And so they actually gave me permission to read this book to you guys. So we're excited about being able to read these books online per permission of Houghton Mifflin and the Journey series. So yay, very good. So now it's time to make the pancakes. So I'm gonna move my camera a little bit, wash my hands up really quick with soap and water so we can get this going. So guys, talk to your parents right now about the story and how you like the activities. What was your favorite part? Think about what your favorite part of the story was. I'm gonna turn this just a little bit. So what was your favorite part of the story? I think my favorite part of the story probably was when George actually was really helping with the pancakes, and he was making the pancakes, and he took some time. I'm sorry, not took some time, but when he added the blueberries, and he was serious about what he was doing. He was making the pancakes and making sure that the people got their pancakes even after the actual chef left. And so that was pretty cool that he just jumped in. And when you jump in and do things that people don't necessarily ask you to do, but it's a helpful thing, that's called taking initiative. So I like the way that George actually took initiative. Did anybody notice that the man in the yellow hat did not have to come to his rescue? George was being independent. He was problem solving. George got syrup all over himself. And he didn't stand and whine and cry and be like, somebody help me, mommy, clean my hands, ew. Because I know Miss Shelton is really funny about sticky things on my hands. I wash my hands all day long. And so being, having stuff all over you and then looking at George is how he solved his own problem. Like he found a way to solve his problem. He found a pretty cool way to solve his problem. To get in the dunk tank. And so he did it himself. He didn't need assistance from the man with the yellow hat or anyone else for that matter. And so he was being independent. Some things you guys can do, you're able to do by yourselves. Now there are some things you guys will need help with, and so ask for help. So Miss Shelton isn't saying don't ask for help. But what she is saying is if you need help, if you can do it yourself, go ahead and do it yourself. All right, so I double did it. I put a little hand sanitizer on my hand. I'll be doing that very often because I am cooking. So I had this covering the griddle with the book, but I'm still going to wipe the griddle off again. And so we're going to get these pancakes started. I'm going to clean the griddle back off. All right. Now, when you're making pancakes, it's according to what kind of tool that you use to make the pancakes. So I am using the griddle, And my griddle is actually a non-stick griddle. That means if I put something on it, it's not going to stick to it. But not everyone's pots or pans are like that. So you may use something different to do your pancakes. And so you may need like a spray. Some people use butter or something to cover the top so that you're able to, so your pancakes won't stick. All right. So I'm going to give you an eye view. So I'll pop down every once in a while. But you guys should be able to hear me because I want you to see what's happening on the griddle. So Mrs. Shelton is using an olive oil a non-stick cooking spray anyway, because I like to keep my griddle nice and clean anyway. So there may be something you use, like I said, you may use butter, and I'm putting this on here so it doesn't stick. So I'm also going to turn the dial on my griddle, and on my particular griddle, if it's on, this little light comes on. So I know that it's on. And I'm going to put it at probably a little medium heat to kind of get it a little, to get it hot. I'm going to start with medium. And while I'm letting this heat up, if I have to turn it up a little bit, I may turn it up just a little bit. And so this is really cool because when I was little, my dad would make pancakes all the time. And so I'm going to let that get hot while we do what we have to do. So Miss Shelton has lots and lots of tools in her kitchen, all kinds of things. But what I am going to need is a spatula. Remember the spatula, the chef and Curious George were using the spatulas. And that was to pick the pancakes up and to flip them over. Another word for pancakes people use, they call them flapjacks. So sometimes they get them and they flap them back over. Some do them, like I said, on a griddle. Some people may do them in a skillet. So this is my spatula. I also have a measuring cup. This is pretty large. It's glass. But I love this one because I get to see through it, and I'm using it so you guys can be able to see through it. Then I have some other measuring tools, measuring cups as well. I have all different kinds. And I have measuring spoons. So maybe if something may call for a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, a third of a teaspoon, I have these as well. Then I have another spatula, and this is the kind of spatula you may see if your mom or dad's making cake, and it helps to kind of get the things that are stuck on the sides of your bowl and get them out. And some of them, when your mom and dad is making, maybe making cakes or something, they let you lick the spatula when they're done because all the batter is on the spatula. And of course, we have a bowl. And you know Miss Shelton likes red stuff. My kitchen is red. As you can tell, it's red. All right, so I have my spatula. So this is a spatula and this is a spatula. I'm going to use both of those. All right. And I also have a plate over there that I put everything on, and that's when I make my pancakes, I'm going to put them over there. Now, this is a super easy recipe. As I said before, my daddy used to make pancakes for us. My daddy is a super, fantastic chef. So my daddy cooks really well, and I picked up just a little bit from him. He lives in Louisiana, and he cooks the best gumbo in the universe. I have to tell you about gumbo later. So Mrs. Shelton, however, is not using his recipe today because his recipe is what we call making it from scratch. And that's like he uses the butter, he uses flour, he uses eggs, he uses butter, eggs, flour, little pinch of salt, maybe a little sugar. I think that's all and some baking powder. So the baking powder helps the pancakes not necessarily rise as high as the cake, but rise just a little bit so you have a little bit on there. Well, Miss Shelton, on the other hand, because I'm doing it with my friends, I am using a mix. So I have a box, and I like this one because this is the one that would be super easy for you guys because you just add, the secret ingredient is water. So first thing I'm going to do, which we should do with all of these things that we use, is I'm going to read the recipe. I'm going to read the recipe, and it's going to tell me how much of the different things that I need. So like I said, all you're doing to this one, if your mom and dad want to look at it, My husband actually got this one from Publix, but you can get it from Walmart. It kind of doesn't matter. Just read the box and see what you need to add. Some you need to add eggs and water. This one, super easy. You can do it too with your parents' help and support, is to add water to this one. So the cooking directions tells me it will make 4-inch pancakes. So I want to make 6 to 9 pancakes. I really don't need that many. Well, probably 9, 6 to 9. So I may not use all of my batter. So it tells me I need 1 cup of this mix, and I need 2/3 cups of water. So 1 cup of the mix and 2/3 cup of water. I'm sorry, a 2/3 cup of water, not 2/3 cups. So 2/3 of a cup of water, and I'll show you what that looks like. And that's why I like this one, because it kind of helps us out with measuring. All right, so I'm gonna open my box. Because I don't like little bugs in my food. After I open up, I always clip it with some kind of clip, clothespin or another clip. And I'm going to take this all the way out so you guys can see what the bag looks like on the inside, and it makes it easier for me. So remember, I need 1 cup of mix. So I'm going to grab my 1 cup. And sometimes this Shelton is good about losing things, so I try to keep them all together. When I use them, I wash them and put them back together. So this is 1 cup. So I'm going to make it easier for me. Stick my 1 cup in the bag. And how many of you is still with me? All right, hang in there. We're almost there. And that's my 1 cup. I'm going to take my 1 cup and pour it in my bowl, according to my directions. Now, it does tell me if I want more, or if I want my pancakes a little thicker, I could use a little more. So as I'm looking at my directions, which I said, you should definitely follow your directions. Use the ingredients that they want you to use so it comes out like it's supposed to come out. And so it's telling me here to heat my electric griddle to 375, and bam, there it is. So I'm going to put this back, so I can still be able to read my directions as I'm going, because it actually gives me how much of whatever it is, and then on the back of the box it also gives me the steps, just like the steps that were given in our book that Curious George was going through, his first, his next, his then, and then his last. Now it says to heat the skillet, so I have my skillet heating to 375, and then it tells me then to combine and mix the water in the bowl. So remember, it was 2/3 cup water, and I want to see if I can get it close enough for you guys to see that. Here is where it tells me I measured 2/3 cup of water. So I'm going to get my water, and I'm going to pour in 2/3 cup. Following my directions, no more, no less. That's 2/3 cup water. Pour it in here. Ta-da! That was easy. See, guys, I tell you, you can do this. A lot of stuff I said don't do at home. This you can do at home. So all we have mixed in this mixture is water and pancake mix. Stir it up, stir, 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 stir. All right. And I'm going to stir it up real good. Make sure I don't have a lot of lumps in there, humps and bumps. And now it's like getting on the sides. And so that is where my spatula will come in. I'll put that to the side. So that's where this spatula will come in. And so I actually need to move this. All right, I have a little saucer thingy here to put my spoon in, so you guys can see how to actually use the spatula. So you see how I have stuff all on the sides, the batter is on the sides. Remember, this is my batter now. Remember we talked about batter. This is my pancake batter. So I'm gonna make sure you guys can see. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm gonna clean the sides, all right? So here, let's see if this works better. See up here, I'm gonna do it backwards. Clean that off the sides. So it's all going in the bowl and not on the side. All right, I'll clean that back off. You may or may not want to lick this. Right now, this is not sweet or anything. It's just pancake mix and water. So it's up to you, whatever you have a taste for. So guys, here we go. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. I am so glad you guys have tuned in with me. I appreciate it. Miss Shelton gets really, really nervous when I have to do things like that and people get to see my face and see me not with my curls and everything. But I'm loving what I'm doing right now. I may do it more often. Let's see. All right, so it says for me to pour the batter, and it says slightly less than 1/4 cup. So I actually have a little cup that I'm going to use to pour the batter out. Now what I'm going to do, so you guys are able to see it, you won't be able to see my face. Just making sure it's where it needs to be. Okay, good. I didn't see my light. I got nervous. All right, so I'm going to just grab a little cup. And it says slightly less than 1/4 cup. So I'm going to grab this. Now, if I'm going to show you, we're going to do 3 different sizes. All right. So to show you, I'm just going to get a tiny amount of batter. Who can guess what size my pancake is going to be? Let's see. Put it on there. All right. I'm just going to let it sit there. Very good. Now I'm going to grab a medium amount. And let's see what size that pancake is going to be. And guys, one cool thing about this, if it's not quite the size you want it, you can always add more. But add more as soon as you do it. Kind of spread it around a little bit. As soon as you do it. Don't let it sit too long before you make another one. And this one, now, here I'm going to have to use my spatula again. So I'm going to go up here, go around, and around, and around. See how I'm putting it down together so I can make this last pancake. And I'm actually, let's see if I have enough room. I'm going to pour it straight from the bowl, and this is going to be my large pancake. Wow, I actually used all of my batter for this one. It's a little larger than the other one. So if I use my spatula, I still have some batter in here, and I don't want to waste any of this. I do not want to waste my food. I'm sure you parents don't, which is where that spatula comes in handy. Because I'm going to hurry up and put that there. All right. So cool. And then we wait. Now, one of the things my dad taught me about when you're making pancakes, especially on a griddle, is that you look to see when the pancakes have bubbles in them. So we're not going to flip them until we see the bubbles forming up inside the pancake. So we wait. We wait a little while. Could you imagine having to do this for as many people as was, oh, there you go, Miss Shelton. For as many people as were in the line for the chef. I can imagine having to do this because it takes time. There is a waiting process to get this done. So we're going to wait and wait and wait. Now, what I do recommend is maybe if you have a different griddle, because my griddle is a little different. So it may be according to your griddle, how hot you need to have it. If it's a little hotter, because I turned it up just a little bit more, you don't want to have it too hot. You do want to go by the instructions. But if you see that it's taking a really long time to get those bubbles, you may want to turn it up just a little bit. Or if you see them cooking too fast, you may want to turn it down a little bit. So it's up to what what surface you're using. Are you using a pan or a pot on the stove, or are you using a griddle? And griddles, a lot of them are different and made different. All right, so I think we're good there. All right. All right, I'm seeing some bubbles form, and I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. Uh-oh. See that? So is this one a small one or a large one? Small. Small or medium? Medium. Ah, that's my husband. He's gonna call me back. All right. And small or large. Oh wow, we're getting bubbles. We're getting bubbles. I'm excited. I'm getting bubbles. Ready? And I'm seeing the bubbles. Oh, it's hot too. I'm warm on my face. All right. Time for the spatula. I'm going to just tilt it just a little bit because I don't want to mess them up for you to see. Ah, forgot the main ingredient. Remember, George, and I'm going to only do it on one because Mrs. Shelton does not like cooked fruit. And so I don't want to have to pick them out. But I'm just going to use the smaller one and put the blueberries in it. Now, let me tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. Hadn't been out in a week to the grocery store, so I didn't have any blueberries. But I did have black jelly beans. So we're going to substitute the blueberries for the black jelly bean. So I'm going to do like, ooh, careful. I'm going to do like Curious George just for effect. I'm going to drop a few black jelly beans on there. And you guys, you can do it at home too. I think it may taste pretty good. I'm not sure. My daughter's looking at me and she's like, I don't know. I like black jelly beans though. So I can see it tasting pretty decent. All right. All right. So I'm just going to start looking under the, woo, they're looking good. You can always check and see. Waiting on a little more bubbles before I rise it up. Okay, we're good. We're all the way up. All right. Yay, they're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. These are going to be so pretty. All right, are y'all ready? And I like mine a little crispy and browner. And because Mrs. Shelton doesn't have the elapsed time thing, we're going to wait a little while longer for these. All right, there, more bubbles. They're popping up. They're popping up. Yay. They're coming. They're coming. All right. So while we're waiting, again, I want you guys to take the time to go back over your story. Tell your parents your favorite parts. Talk about the characters. Talk about the setting. Talk about the author, the person who wrote the book. The illustrators. Give them some information. Talk about what happened at the beginning. What happened in the middle. What happened at the end. Talk about the steps in making pancakes. Ooh, one of my jelly beans is coming up. That means it is getting ready. It is getting ready. All right. And I'm about to flip them. And I can show you, I'll turn it up one more time towards you because I think they're about ready to flip over. All right. So that's my makeshift fake blueberries / real jelly beans. All right. And this is the first one I put on there. Ooh, there I am going to, oh, hold on to it. Bam, flip it over. And now I'm going to take this. Remember they call them flapjacks. So I'm going to try to do like the chef did in the book. All right, let's see. And slide it in. And 1, 2, 3. Don't laugh if it doesn't work. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to throw it up just a little bit. And, whoa, Miss Shelton. And, all right, that's as far as I could go with it. Oh, don't they look delicious? And this one, you can really see the bubbles happening here. All right, I'm going to give that one a little more time. I'm going to push him over just a little bit. Push him over. All Oh, that licorice smells really good. Wow. Nice, nice. This one I'm not going to take a chance with flipping, doing the whole flip thing. But I will grab it and do a soft flip, a mini flip, if you would. And bam. Whoa. Nice. Ah, ta-da. I feel like if a monkey can make pancakes, in a fiction story, of course, then a teacher can make pancakes. And there we are, my friends. Not only did Curious George make pancakes, Miss Shelton made pancakes, and you guys got to see it live and in color. So I'm going to wait a little while for the other side to get done. And as I said before, those of you who do use syrup on yours, some people use jelly. They put, whipped cream on theirs, strawberries, all of that wonderful stuff. Of course, Mrs. Shelton is not into all of that extra stuff on my pancakes. I just like syrup. That's enough for me. So I'm going to take them off because I don't want them to burn. So I want it to look, woo, careful, Miss Shelton. Spatula again. I'm going to make it look really cute. And because I'm probably not sure about how I'm going to like the taste of that, I'm going to put it to the side. And voila, my friends, pancakes by Mrs. Shelton. Thank you for hanging out with me. You guys rock. You guys absolutely rock. Please let me know if you watched the video, what you thought about it. I'm working on my videography skills. So tell me how I did. You guys have a great and fabulous day. Remember, you are superstars. Love you guys. Have a great day.